Hello again, it's me again. I'm just following on from the video that I did previously with the coffee and the avocado dyeing. I just want to show you a couple of other bits and pieces as well. So have a look around your kitchen and see what you've got. If you've got one of these tins with the, you know, the holy things, it's religious, for pizza making, you can use those as well. So let me just move that bit of card out of the way. So I'm going to try it with a piece of paper. So I'm just dunking my paper in the coffee again. It's just a good way of using up all the leftover bits of coffee that's in your tray. It's just having a bit of a plain experiment, and I'm just going to lay it down on there. Okay, I'm going to pop that in the oven. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to turn it over. Haha, Carol. And do it that way. There we go. That's better. So I don't end up with the ridges then, do I? Then that goes in the oven. Other things that you can dye. So this was a piece of curtain netting. So I dyed that in coffee. Some of these things, the material type things, are probably better off drying naturally rather than in the oven. But just for speed, I'm going to do it in the oven. Seam binding. You could dye your seam binding in the coffee as well. And again, it's a material that you're probably better off letting it dry naturally. But again, as I say, just for speed and because I'm doing it, I'm just going to dry it in the oven, lay it on my paper. Now I've got one white one and one cream one so that we can see the difference between the two. See if we can tell them apart when they come out. Lace is another one. So this is a cotton lace. You can do it with nylon, but I would definitely not put that in the oven. And again, I'm just going to soak that in there, squeeze out some of the excess, and pop that in the oven as well. Your old lace doily tableclothy things. Now I'm going to do something a bit different with these, so I'm just going to make myself a bit of space. I'm going to use a piece of card, and I'm going to lay this on top of, just going to paint this, because this is an experiment. What I'm hoping is going to happen, because I painted it and I'm painting it quite heavily with the coffee, is that the dryness of the lace that I'm putting on top will soak up the excess and leave me with an image underneath like it did with the paper doily. So I'm just going to lay that on there, press it down. Look at the state of my fingers now, look. Ugh. Okay, so I'm going to push it down so that it's picking up the excess of the coffee underneath. Now I'm also going to paint it over the top so that I'm putting more coffee on, not only the doily itself, but also getting it inside those holes to help give me a better lacy effect on the paper. Now, as I say, I'm doing this on card for the simple reason that if I tried to do this on paper, I would probably find that the paper would just disintegrate. I'll tell you what, with this oven on, I'm getting a hot sweat on now. I feel all menopausal almost. Whew. Sorry, this is a bit boring now. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. This half I've painted, haven't I? Let's leave one half unpainted and the other half painted. And again, because this is cotton, I can put it in the oven. And I tell you what, we'll do it in quarters. So this quarter, we'll put loads of coffee on and see what happens. Because obviously it's going to seep underneath. So we'll see if it seeps too much with putting a load on, or whether you're better off just putting a bit on, or whether you're better off just not putting any on, and we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. Okay, so I'm just going to put those in the oven, get those going. And put this in the oven. That's that one. We'll see how that turns out. And where's my tea towel gone? Let's see. So that's me. Take that off. Put that down. It's hot. So that's my pizza pan. So I've got sort of a creamy colour with brown spots on one side, which that side was the side that was in contact with the pan, and this was the side that wasn't. Creates a lovely, interesting effect though, doesn't it? But yeah, have a go with other things you've got around the house and see what happens. Obviously be careful with plastic, as we've already seen with the CD case, that melts. Now, whilst I've said that we can use lace for dyeing, and again I'm going to do it on card rather than paper so that it doesn't break. If I'm going to dye my lace, I might as well do it on a piece of paper, or card in this instance, so that I'm dyeing the card as well as the lace itself. So again, I'm going to paint it on, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint on the edge, because when you first try it, the lace just slips around. I think I'm putting maybe too much coffee on there. Okay, then I'm going to do the bottom bit. Well, you can't see that, can you? I can see what I'm doing. So put this on the bottom bit. Ooh, that moved. Because again, it would just help to make the lace be in contact with the card. And then I'm going to put some down the middle. Right, so this side I'm brushing on. This side, I'll just go to the middle. Oh, shifted. Nah, I'm going to paint it. I was going to say I'll try daubing it. But you could use a sponge. See if painting it on with a sponge might help. As I say, it's all trial and error. It's all about having a little bit of a play, doing something a little bit different from the norm. And I'm just going to paint the rest of the card so that it gets a more even tone. Now obviously with me painting it on the one side, it does mean that the underside is not going to be coffee dyed. It might pick up some residue off the greaseproof paper. Just can you see? I've got residue now from where I was coffee dyeing earlier. So it might pick up some of that. Now this is a nylon lace, so I just need to watch it that it doesn't go or shrivels up. Put that in. I'm just going to do this piece, but you can do it with calico. So all the natural fibres You know, cotton, calico, probably not best with polyester. Don't know whether you might get fumes off of that. Let's have two like that. Because I can cut these up, I don't have to be able to use the whole sheet. But it just means that if I'm coffee dyeing the lace, I might as well utilise it. See if it does anything to my paper whilst we're at it. Now there's no reason why you can't experiment with other things, and I did actually put it in the description box on the previous video about using onion skins, beetroot, and I even saw a video of a lady doing it with, and I'm sorry I don't know your name if you happen to catch my video. She used balsamic vinegar. I've got some red wine vinegar in my cupboard, so I might have a go with that. Oh, I feel like I'm being an artist with my paintbrush. Okay, so that's my two ends down. Put you on there. Have a look, see what textures you've got that you think would be able to go in the oven, or even in the sun. See what happens if you put stuff out in the sun. See, leaves on top, flowers on top. See what effects you can come up with. Might set that as a challenge on group, just so as you're forewarned, girls. Do a bit of dyeing, see what you come up with. Okay, so I've painted the two edges on. Now these can be my experiments. I'm making a bit of a mental note as to what I'm doing, because if it works, then I can do it and set it up on the page, so then I could use the page in a journal. But I can't express enough how much it is. It really is just about playing. Okay, I think that will do us. Let's have a go, see how that turns out. Right, just see if anything else is done. There we go, right, so pop that in the oven. So that's my seam binding. Can't tell which was white and which was cream, can you? Dries it out quite a lot. Personally, I think I would prefer to do this and then dry it with my my heat gun. Because the other thing that you could do is you just fold it and leave the ends draped in and some draped out, and you get a capillary action where the coffee will only work its way so far up the seam binding, so then you will end up with a more graded kind of colour. That's the cotton lace. But if you're doing something really vintage, how lovely does that look? Let's put it on some white card so you can see it better. Is that better? Yeah, like that effect. Right. Put those to one side, see if another one's ready. Stand back so my glasses don't steam up. Okay, let's have a look at this. Oh, it's steaming. That's something to be careful of. When you take these things out the oven, don't go and touch them straight away. They might be a tad hot. Okay, so this was the corn. This was the half where I only painted the paper and then sat the cloth on top. This was the corner where I only went over it with a minimum amount, and this was the corner where I put loads on. So let's have a look at the one with only a bit. Nothing's going on. Okay, let's have a look at this corner where we only put a bit of coffee on. Ooh, we've got some pattern. Can you see that? Some pattern there. I'll put that back down, and then this is the corner where I put loads on it. Pull that back. Oh, look at that. Look, that's much better. Right, okay, decision made. I'm going to paint back over these, and then I'm going to bung it back in the oven. So a lot more on this one. Right, let's choose. I'm just mindful of the fact that it takes a lot of time. You watch that, won't go and work now. I've put too much on. Oh dear. Paper underneath is going, I'm drowning, I'm drowning. That might have been a little bit excessive, Carol. Ah, well, we're only having a play. Let's see what happens. But at the end of it, not only will I have a nice piece of paper, hopefully, I've also got some lovely lace then, all coffee dyed. Okay. That's enough dibby-dabbing, Carol, I think. No, maybe one more. Right, let's put that back in. Let's see what happens. Okay, this is the next one. This was the first piece of lace. Can you all see that? Let me move that. Okay, here we go. We're going in. Ugh. Failure. That didn't work, did it? I remember the last time I did my lace dyeing, it took me ages. I did loads of paper, got a tiny bit of pattern up there. Took me ages to get it just right, and I think it's because I kept soaking the lace, because once I used this piece of lace I then moved it onto the next sheet, and because it had absorbed so much liquid, I think that might have worked better rather than it being a fresh piece of lace. Oh well, you live and learn. So that bit didn't work. Okay. Oh, I'll show you a piece that I did earlier. Just whilst I'm just waiting for that other one to dry. See, that was another piece of lace that I did, and it's a very subtle background. I mean, you can see that there's a pattern in there, but it's not a defined pattern. Oh, and that was the back. But again, imagine that as a page in your journal. Well, I'll tell you what else has happened as well. And again, you might not be able to see this, but remember I said that some of the mica powder was still in the tin. This has got sparkly in it. Pretty. Yeah, I can use that. So it shows that it does work, and I think it might work better in the summer when I can put these out in the sun, so long as they don't go flying down the street like they did last time. Right, let's see if anything else is ready. Mind the steam. Now I don't have high hopes for this one, considering how that one over there turned out. And let's have a look and see how this one went. So this was the cotton one. No. Nothing. Got a lovely piece of coffee dyed lace though. No pattern though. Right, okay. No. Oh, how disappointing is that? I mean, it's created a nice effect, I suppose. And there is, where the coffee has seeped through, there is some cross-hatching from the background part of the lace. But this is a nice colour now. I mean, it was a tanny beigey colour anyway, but it's just added a little bit more depth to it. In fact, make me white. Can you see one's darker than the other? I don't know whether you'll see that on camera. This was the back side, this was the front side. Oh well, I've ended up with some nice coloured lace and an odd bit of paper. Don't know if I'll use that one. Okay, let's see how the other one's doing. Ooh, this is still soaking wet. Okay, it's still soaking wet. So I'm going to have to put it back in the oven. And I don't know whether you can see, but the steam coming off that. Okay, so let's lift up this corner. Now it's completely gone underneath, look now. It's just completely saturated it. That side's still come out quite well. Ooh, that side's interesting, look. Let's see if I can carefully pull that back. Look at that, look. That's worked out quite well, hasn't it? So I'm going to pop that back on and I'm going to leave it in the oven a little bit longer. And I'll add a photo on Facebook. I might even put it on my Instagram as well to show how it turned out. Okay, I think that's about it now. I'm sure there was something else I meant to tell you. Can you see this? Look, I don't know whether you can see this. Can you see how it's worked its way up to about here, then it stopped? So if I put that in the oven now, this bit will be darker and this bit will be lighter. Right, I'm going to bob that in the oven with this and we'll see what happens. And I'll add some photos on Instagram as well as on Facebook to show you how these things turned out. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you all again soon. Coffee fingers and all. See you later. Bye.